Good morning, everyone. So this is an interesting topic, and before I start, I'll ask each of my panelists to have a brief introduction about themselves. And this will be an interactive session, so it's just not 6 or 7 of us. It is going to be all of us giving their point of view on the topic. So, Swati ji.
So, good morning, everybody. So, I am Swati. I am from UGro Capital Limited. I'm working as a CISO there, managing information security. My core area of expertise is governance, risk and compliance, privacy, and security operations.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ravi. I am from Tupperware brands, and I am responsible for IT and digital for Asia Pac. Cybersecurity is, of course, very important topic, and we kind of indulge almost every day in this area. So it's wonderful to see all of you and all the people who have gathered here to discuss about this interesting topic. Looking forward to hear and also learn from everyone. Thank you.
Hi, this is Bhupender, Bhardwaj. 21 years in the industry. I've worked in banking, CPG, fintech, e-commerce companies, mostly on the global side, from UK to Switzerland to Russia to Mexico, Israel, Dubai. And this is my first stint in an Indian organization, news and media, also a different domain altogether. I look forward for the discussion. The discussion is close to my heart, and I'm looking forward for the participation from the audience here, and happy to learn from my co-panel member. Thank you.
So good morning, everyone. First of all, thanks to Contact India for getting us here, and my fellow panelists. So I think we had a good interaction in the morning. And so about me, I have a total work experience of 25 years. So currently I work with Minda, so which is manufacturing, into automotive manufacturing. And then I look after the complete global cybersecurity, IT and risk management, including infrastructure. So in the past, I worked with organizations like IBM, GMR. So I think that has been the past. So today's topic is very, I think what my fellow panelists were saying, that it's very close to heart. See, everyone uses AI, right? And now within cybersecurity, whether that's bundled or you use in a different use case, but then we don't look at the other side, which are the risk and all that. I think we will have a good discussion, and probably we expect that let it be a more interactive session rather than this side speaking. Okay, good, thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Animesh Kumar, and I head the information security at Basic Home Loan. Basic Home Loan is a home loan aggregator company. I have more than 17 years of information security experience, and I have worked in different industries like IT services, food tech, fintech, healthcare. Looking forward to this discussion. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. Hi everyone. Harshit this side. I'm co-founder and CEO at Appknox. We are a mobile app security company. We have been operating in this space since last 12 odd years. And again, looking forward to having a great discussion, learning from all the cybersecurity leaders on how you're thinking about the evolving landscape that we are in today. So yes, looking forward to the discussion. Thanks a lot to Quantic for organizing this. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So most of us in this room are past the question that is there a role of AI in cybersecurity? There is a role, it is defined. But what we have to see is AI providing enterprise grade protection, or is just increasing cost, another layer of technical stack and cost. So because AI itself brings with itself a new attack surface. Models interacting with enterprise data, models interacting with critical applications, non-human identities interacting with each other, agents interacting with another agent. So I would like to keep this discussion outside of generic AI optimism and focus on key areas like where AI is being productive. What are the places where we see that yes, it is delivering result? How much autonomy we want to give to AI to make decisions on enterprises' behalf, and where the business use cases are still weak. So maybe we will focus the questions that we have will move around these areas. So before we start with the questions, is there anyone in the audience who wants to have 15 seconds, take their 15 seconds and tell us what they think about the topic and where they stand? Anybody can raise their hand? Okay.
Thank you. I think that was very well put together, Akash. I think that there has been a certain sense of optimism as well as skepticism regarding how AI has been sort of transforming specifically traditional businesses, and in that process, it's natural that cybersecurity does tend to get neglected. So I feel addressing some of those concerns as to how they affect real business operations would be extremely relevant in today's day and time. So I'd like to hand it over to Akash and the panel.
Thank you, Mudit. So the first question that I want the panel to discuss on is where has AI actually delivered measurable value in security operations? So a very relevant question. We have all seen AI models. We have seen tools powered by AI, as we were discussing in the morning. Everything now is powered by AI. But where exactly is it helping us? One area which I see is reducing the mean time to detection. But still, I would like to ask panelists in their day-to-day operations, what are the areas where they are seeing that AI is actually delivering results which can be quantified, either hours saved or money saved? So, Swati ji, first to you.
For us, one of the most measurable improvement that we have observed with any AI use case is as part of our security monitoring operations. So the challenge with these SOC systems is that it generates a lot of alerts and huge amount of alerts, and which becomes a big problem for the analyst to be able to manually traverse through these alerts and to identify the ones which actually matter and which actually need their attention. So with the help of AI, we have enabled these SOC agents to, in an autonomous way, be able to sort of correlate between different log sources, sort of identify that, okay, these are the alerts which might be of high importance, which might be of high priority, and which basically helps reduce the time these analysts were initially, spending on writing lengthy queries, on digging into these IOCs across different log sources. And this has shown measurable improvement in terms of the amount of time we were initially taking to investigate some incidents. And especially in today's times, I think this is one of the most need of the hour kind of scenario, because even in the latest certain guidelines, they have highlighted that AI-enabled cybersecurity attacks is something which is one of the biggest risks we are facing right now. So to read those kind of alerts, or to be on the defensive side or monitoring side of those alerts, we need to have some AI-based technology to match up to that level of speed and scale with which these attacks can be launched. So yeah, this has been one of the most measurable use case, and we have observed around 30 to 40% improvement in the mean time to detect these alerts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Swati ji. Harshit, Mr. Harshit, you have a point of view on this topic?
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So I think the biggest benefactor for AI has been the speed of development, and I think that has led to the release cycles going super high. And I'm coming more from vulnerability, but completely agree with Swati ji's point that overall cancelling the noise, because, and same is the issue with the vulnerability problem, that I think detection was never the problem, but prioritizing what really has to be fixed was the problem. And with so many scanners already pushing out vulnerabilities to your team, it's very difficult to identify which one to fix first. CVSS is one of the way, but I don't think that is the fair enough way, and that is where AI is helping you figure out which are exploitable vulnerabilities and prioritize which are highly exploitable, and cutting down on the noise and creating that priority that okay, these are exploitable and severe, that will fix first, followed by in vulnerability detection. I think the other challenge that always existed was with respect to running the assessment and collating all the information from all the scanners and showing up in a single dashboard for team to understand, and correlating between multiple infra, for example mobile, web, API, and that is something which AI does wonderfully well. Because it has the context, and that is the beauty of AI, that if you give it a specific workflow basis work, it can help you do n number of those activities. But yes, if guardrails are not there, then it will start hallucinating. So yeah, that is something that has to be taken care of. But yeah, that's my.
Thank you, Swati. Thank you, Harshit. Anybody else in the panel wants to have a point of view on this question? Yeah, please look.
So look, I'll tie two of your questions together. First, is AI a costly affair versus a real value add? The way I see it, Akash, is it's not an either an or question, it's both. It is expensive, yes it is expensive, and is it changing the way we work? So if you look at AI, there are three fundamental layers AI puts together. One, you don't really need to remember all those complex queries, whether Excel query or formulas or SQL queries or your SIM queries. What happens, there is a language wrapper around it. You just give a simple language wrapper and then it delivers the task. Second layer is the automation. And third is data representation. Whatever you get as an output of an AI is really presentable. And AI does it in one prompt rather than three different things. Now out of these three layers, the middle layer of automation was always there, especially in the cybersecurity world. So I think in my view, it is both. Is it expensive? It is super expensive at the moment. Can it be cheaper? Yes, it can be cheaper. Rather than running, let's say, a token-based payment, we can have it local LLMs, because automation use case has always been cracked. We also talked about how AI is changing our day-to-day operation in cybersecurity. One experiment we did was I asked AI that has been deployed in my ecosystem, and I asked a simple question: tell me one detection, if you can find, which my legacy systems could not, as in a new, like they are saying AI is discovering new vulnerabilities. I asked, say, is there a detection that you can find which my legacy software, security softwares can't? The answer was zero. It did not find anything new, which means, are we asking AI to basically, we are renting our playbooks to AI to give a better representation of our data? I think in the present use case and exercises that have happened, that seems to be the case. So overall, what AI has improved is, what used to take us 10 minutes, 30 minutes and so on to do initial assessment triage, now it happens in the matter of couple of minutes. The quality of output that we get, like I said, is really good. It is presentable. And I think decision making has been facilitated by AI, where we are getting a lot of value. What it is not doing though 100% is, somebody still needs to monitor the output of it, right? Which means the experienced people have to sit and validate the use cases AI is delivering whether they are good enough or not. Can it be trusted or not? And every time we deploy a new use case for AI, what happens is that I have to ask my most experienced person that we are doing this, can you check if the output from AI is correct all the time, right? Which means the efforts from level 1 and level 2 is reducing, but efforts for monitoring for my most experienced level 3 resources is going up, which also means that we need to probably reshuffle the team, because right now the narrative is that we need to cut down the resources from the bottom of the pyramid. But are we adding more people at the top of the pyramid of the technical layer? That's a big question that remains in front of us, and that's where we need to decide what needs to be done. That's my view. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhupenderji. That was very well put, and actually that ending is a good segue to the second questions that we have. But before I move to the second question, let me ask anybody in the audience who wants to give a point of view on this question: AI delivering measurable value in security operations. Anybody wants to have a point of view on that? Okay. Yeah, I see someone.
Thank you. And my perspective would be that yes, short answer is yes, because AI has been delivering good value in cyber defense operation, because currently we have enormous number of logs. And when we try to do SOAR on top of it, probably I think AI been a very, very helping hand. And actually it's improve our mean time to detect and mean time to respond as well, because that's what is the ask for an hour at the moment.
Thank you. Can you tell your name?
My name is Rajiv. I'm from Fidelity.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Rajiv.
Akash, sorry,
Yeah.
just add one more thing. I think definitely we all talked about security ops. It's going to make life easy for the analyst and all that. But I think one important factor, this is my experience and our use cases. So AI is helping a lot on the classification of the data. Now nowadays, DPD is on our head and all that. So there's huge data within the organizations. So it is the segregation of data, whether that's in PI or different formats. So AI is helping, whether it is embedded within the software or you build your own models, but that is something which we'll be using from the security operations point of view in the future, and even current days that's happening.
Thank you. That's a very good point. So moving to our next question, very interesting topic. Is AI reducing analyst workload or just shifting complexity elsewhere? As Bhupender ji was alluding to at the end of his answer. So there is a common narrative that AI will reduce the workload and manpower. I am not fully convinced, because maybe AI will reduce the technical, as I said, analyst work, but it also brings overheads, AI governance, AI red teaming, AI guardrails, securing the AI so that AI does not go rogue, because it is working with our models, it's working with our critical data. Prompt engineering, you and I being in IT field maybe understand how to provide a prompt, but a business user in the manufacturing environment may give an open-ended question prompt to the AI, and maybe it will start inferring from the prompt itself and do certain things that is still not there. So yeah, mean time to detect is reduced, but the overhead, I think the complexity is just shifting. I don't think, from my point of view, that it actually reducing the workload, it is just shifting the workload. So I'll also have a panelist view on that. I'll again request Ravi ji to have a point of view on this.
Definitely. I think all of us kind of agree to this. It is not yet reached to that level where we can say, okay, AI take care of everything. We are actually trying to automate a lot of things. You talk about triaging, you talk about gathering the data, you talk about analyzing and presenting something. But at the end of the day, we cannot say, or we can fully trust AI to do end-to-end, like detection, interpretation, and then solutioning, and then everything is fine. No, it is not in that autopilot mode. So what I see at this moment is, in terms of the analyst role, the entry level or slightly to the mid level, it is getting automated. We are deriving a lot of value out of it. But when it comes to the sophisticated part of it, we are not yet at that point. I mean, it will be there. Probably we have got these self-driving cars, right, which probably a few years back we could not have trusted, but now it's a reality. So to answer this question, yes, we have automated a lot of things at the bottom, but at the top where the expertise is required, we cannot fully trust AI. Somebody has to be there. We talked about guardrails. We talked about somebody who has to authenticate or validate whatever actions the AI is suggesting. We cannot say like, okay, go ahead and do all those things in the production environment or block the access. Because see, the thing is, we have got speed because of AI, but at the same time, if the speed of doing something wrong, I mean, we talk about blocking the access, we talk about taking something down, and that can also happen at a very high speed. Are we prepared to kind of take whatever hit that can cause today, in today's world? I think the answer is no, we are not yet there. So yeah, we move some of the tasks which was being performed by the analyst or the mid-level security people and shifting it towards the upper hierarchy. So that's what I think we are at today.
Thank you, Raviji. Bhupender ji, you, please.
So I think, Akash, I partially answered this question, but I can add more context, like I said, right, the rudimentary 3 blocks are there, and I'll just take a quick segue to explain my point through a story. 7-8 years I've been coding and building products. The biggest challenge in building product is coming up with the idea, and executing it is even more difficult because you have to write code, millions of lines of code, platform, design engineering and whatnot. And then the output needs to look good as well. Your application will invite traffic only when it looks good. AI has solved my first problem and my second problem. Now I don't need to remember all those scripts, coding, nothing. The idea is still mine. I need to execute and deliver a product, and front-end UI, AI does it brilliantly. So if you see, my time of 1 year has reduced to maybe a week or 2. So that's where AI has definitely delivered value. The problem is, being a cybersecurity professional, I can implement the guardrails in my product. But now anybody can code as well. And so is my IT team doing it. We recently identified that they have built an inventory management solution which has inventory of all the servers, laptops, desktops and whatnot. Surprisingly, the authentication has been implemented poorly, and we were able to get into that newly built system and could see the inventory, database backup and everything from that place. Now if we do a root cause analysis and look at from a higher perspective, building an inventory management system, maybe in couple of weeks, easy, AI delivered it. But did it shift the work elsewhere, which is to security teams, to identify these loopholes and then get it fixed? This is my IT team building it. Nobody is now stopping my HR team to build something similar and then lead the PII and whatnot, breached financial information and everything. So while AI is delivering tangible result, undeniable fact, this is also not this or that. It is a both question. It is delivering result, but it is also shifting the work elsewhere to a different layer, because now security people and all of us as leaders have bigger role to play. Why? Because our defensive layer, which also is an AI, is also an attack surface. So I think I would love to answer this question in the same way, that it is doing both. Both are true at the same time. That's my view.
Exactly. So Harshit ji, your point of view on this.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. And I think I would like to add to what Bhupender ji just mentioned, that I think I mentioned it in my previous answer as well, that biggest benefactor is the development teams, and that has moved the load on the security team because the speed of development has gone significantly high, versus the team that is securing is still understaffed with AI enabling them at certain extent, but not at the level where development agents are sitting today. And that is the gap that we are talking about, where it's very difficult for AppSec team or security operation team to speed up or capture that gap. And that is where the biggest challenge is. Definitely, when we say that, okay, if an AI agent is able to detect 85% of threats, the biggest point for security team is that 85% threat means there is still this 15% that they have to detect, and that is equally a difficult task for a manual pen tester, and might even take a longer time than it would have taken earlier, which is the miss that a lot of people don't consider. Follow to it, false positive or hallucination by these agents is another task that will just make sure that every reply that we get is human verified, and that is where the human labor is required, and the expectation is that the security team is not going to grow, but they have to handle the load that is coming in from the development side. So definitely I think it is catching up. A lot of agents are coming. For example, what Mythos did is detecting issues that have not been detected for 15 years. So all of these are plus points that yes, we are heading towards that way. There are triaging and all, which helps us in figuring out exploitability, figuring out removing noise. All of these are good parts of AI, but there is also the workload on cybersecurity team that very specifically we are talking about has gone significantly high, with agents not effective enough right now like the other side of agents are.
Thank you, Harshit. Very well put. Anybody else wants to have a point of view on this? Yes.
So I think a lot has been covered, but then see, again, I will just go 2 steps backward. So AI is not going to replace the jobs. No, I think we have been, and rather it will augment. No, because what we have seen in the past, so there will be new opportunities coming up. Now, if you say low-lying jobs, the operations, we will have a reduction in the analyst or whatever, but then there will be a lot of new opportunities coming. So my viewpoint is, I say, you can get, AI can prioritize, AI can recommend, AI can do analysis, but I still feel the human brain is above all. So finally, at this point of time, I don't feel that we need to get more into autonomous AI mode. Okay, so we have seen recent past what autonomous AI mode is doing. So because the things are evolving so fast, but at this point of time today, I still see that human brain need to take prominence about all these things. Let them analyze, let them take a recommendation, but still let's use our decision making. I think that's my viewpoint on this.
Very well put together, Arvind. I 100% agree to what Arvind also mentioned. Look, there is another thing, and feel free to use your phones now or later to look at an interesting fact. Today, Cloudflare, which is a front end, CDN and WAF provider, what they are seeing is the 60% of data that they see now at their CDN is bot generated. Only 40% is human. And this progress has happened in 5 years. Industrial revolution took 100 years to automate, and then Tesla electric car came in, after 100 years. Digital landscape maybe 30-40 years, after WWW big bubble, and then eventually digital economy thriving, 30-40 years. AI, go back 2021. It was in infancy state at that time, literally developing, giving wrong answers. And today 60% of the data of Cloudflare sees bot generated traffic. The future that we will live in next 5 years will be bot dominant, means heavily automated. So he's right when he says that AI will augment this whole thing, but human capacity and brain will still be needed to sift through that 90% of data to understand what is right, what is not right. So digital economy and world is not going to go backward. We will have more opportunity, but I think we need to embrace for that impact of AI, because the world we will live in will not be the same as it is today.
Very well put. So I'll have a question for the audience, not this question. In your work environment, where do you see that AI is reducing workload or increasing workload? Anybody has a point of view on that? Yeah. We'll come to you as well.
Hi everyone. So I've been observing that AI is reducing workload in lot of sense, because I've been doing penetration testing, vulnerability management, reverse engineering, exploit writing. These are all my core areas. Like, we are using lot of AI things nowadays. We can use local LLM models which we can configure automatically. If we see the traditional approach of doing penetration testing, it's like it's take 1 week of time. That's a traditional way of doing pen testing, right? But if we use AI enabled agents for doing the penetration testing, we can reduce it for 2 days or 3 days. Now everything can be done with the help of AI agents. I'm not saying to utilize public models, LLM models which are there. I would say, like, we can use Olama local models which we can set up it, we can train them, and then we can see the expected output is very good. I have seen it incident response, exploit writing, vulnerability management, SOC operations. Even we have completely removed the work of L1 agents. So L1 agents normally works like identifying logs, mapping it with different log sources, and then checking it whether it is false positive, false negative, and the incidents are being raised. Based on that, they are doing root cause analysis.
So, just make it a little shorter because the time constraint is there. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for your inputs. What's your name? Yeah, please. Sorry. Nikhil. Nikhil. Very well put. So everybody, you can introduce yourself so we know who we are talking to.
My name is Arvind Singh and I am from Midland Credit Management. So I will not add whatever you talked about, so I'm not going to cover it. What we have not discussed and which we are doing is on the GRC side of things. So in GRC, we have sort of developed in-house AI agents where if there is any gap in terms of, like Mr. Bhupender mentioned about putting the guardrails. So during audits, if we identified anything where guardrails are required, we use that agent to help us build those controls, what those controls should look like, which sort of standards or frameworks they should map. If there is a testing done on any of the frameworks during audits, and if there are any gaps, deficiencies, we have built another bot in terms of remediation, that how the remediation should look like. Just punch few lines, it will give you the RCA, a short-term plan, a long-term plan, what should be the ideal evidence. It will tell you each and everything. We have built a bot on third-party security review. We have built so many things, so we can talk offline.
Yeah,
the list is very long.
Thank you. Thank you. Very well put. And I will take that segue to our third question. What are the biggest risks of adopting AI in cybersecurity today? So I will put it in two buckets: employee using AI, enterprise AI, and AI being introduced into business processes. So risks like data exposure, model supply chain risk. We are using connectors, plugins. We don't know who has created it, how it works. Then data sovereignty issues, prompt injection, jailbreaking. Earlier, my biggest problem was identity and access management of humans. Now we are creating multiple non-human agents which are working 24/7. So my biggest concern going forward is identity and access management of AI bots. How do we manage those? How do we manage privileges of those identities? So I think that would be the next big security risk. But I'll ask Mr. Ravi to have a say on this question.
the thing is, when we talk about AI, it is an additional layer on top of what we have got today. So it is akin like introducing another point of failure, even though we have got a lot of use cases where AI is delivering the results. But at the end of the day, there are a couple of things which we should be definitely aware of. First of all, we cannot trust AI blindly. I mean, we cannot say like, okay, here is the AI, it can take care of everything. And the second thing is, of course, the additional layer which we introduced that is kind of exposed to the external world, which could be exploited. And the other thing which we're talking about is the feed which we are giving to AI to kind of understand, to decipher, and give us the output. I mean, that could be exposed, that could be exploited by third party. And the third party can also use that to inject the malicious codes. So, yeah, I mean, it's good, but at the same time, we cannot say like, okay, we are there 100% at this point of time. That is what I was talking in the earlier question, answer to the earlier question also. But yeah, in fact, yeah, we are kind of getting there. We would be there very soon.
Thank you. So I'll have a follow-up question for Swati ji here. So who should own the risks that AI present? Is it the CIO? Is it the CISO? Is it the risk committee, the chief risk officer, or a completely separate team of AI risks? What do you think?
So I think this is a very good question to highlight, because with AI, accountability is something which becomes a major question, that whatever responses these AI systems are generating, whether they are correct, not, whether they are trustworthy, who is ultimately accountable to accept those responses and take action upon those. So within the organization, I feel the responsibility firstly lies upon the organization. So be it any third-party AI systems we might have utilized, be it any in-house models we might have created for those things, but ultimate responsibility lies with the organization, and ultimately the CISO is someone responsible, and the chief risk officer is ultimately, that will fall under their purview, that ultimately whatever AI technology, whatever autonomous decisions we are making on behalf of our customers and everybody, so that is something which needs to be held responsible for.
Thank you. Yeah.
So just to add a little bit of spice and flavor, see, I believe AI should be democratized, right? No. What you say, shadow IT, or say shadow AI. So if you start putting it into a cage, it's not possible, right? So at the end of the day, we say Rasi, right? Accountability definitely needs to lie with someone, but then I feel everyone is responsible for it. So you can't wash away your hands, right? So every employee is responsible. So why we do all these awareness programs and all that? For what? To make everyone responsible in this whole game, right? So see, in this whole people, process and technology, people play a major role. So the people actually need to be responsible. They need to understand. They have to be equally responsible in this whole risk. They need to understand what are the risks. So you can put a CRO, you can put a CISO for a accountability perspective. But then this is my feeling that everyone has to be responsible for this.
That's a good point, and here I would like, before Bhupender ji, you answer that, the question of fundamental rights and fundamental duties. Rights everybody knows, duty nobody follows. So how do we democratize that? I'll let Bhupender ji answer that.
Swati and Arvind shared good perspectives, but I think AI has changed. It's a new dimension that we have received. Conventional ways of putting accountability or risk or onus on the head of one individual is not a correct approach, because AI is being used by HR, marketing, editorial content, you name it. Legal team is using it to vet maybe 80-90 pages document now to accurately detect where the interests of the parties lie and so on. So one way that is emerging also, and this is just, food for thought for all of us, is that should we have a steering committee org-wide where we have business and all the respective heads aligned? Of course, we can have steering committee chairman to decide and take final call and cadence and whatnot. But chief risk officer being accountable for an individual, let's say editorial content team who created a content which is a look-alike and defamatory to a political figure or a film star, what's the issue? What can he do, right? And again, there are no definitive use cases of AI. AI can do only these many things. AI can do many more things. So we don't know. It's a moving goalpost. We don't know the targets yet. So putting accountability and onus or putting someone's head on the chopping block is not a right strategy. It needs to keep evolving in the form of a steering committee and so on. So that's my 2 cents on this, Akash. I'll let you follow up with your list of questions now.
Yeah. And that's exactly the point. We have set organizational structures around legacy systems and how it works. But as AI is evolving, and as Bhupender just said, in the last 5 years, 60% of traffic is bot generated. Maybe we should start thinking on an org structure around AI security as well. Next question is, how much of our security stack is really AI driven versus marketing claim? Because everything is powered by AI, as we were discussing in the morning. So is it generative AI? Is it creating contents? Is it agentic AI, where it is making decisions on our behalf? So my question here is, what should we as security leaders put in our stack, seeing it is actually AI or is it just marketing claims? Because before AI came, we still had behavioral analytics, malware classification, classic machine learning. So that's the question, is it actually AI or is it marketing claim? So let's start with Bhupender ji.
Simple reality check to answer this is, we are all in the business right now, right? We are supporting business, we are working for businesses. Unless business does not make penny money, we don't survive. So I think a reality check question would be, what would be impacted in terms of business if I turn off the AI that I'm using? Right? You'll get the answer. At least a directional answer. Is AI largely is like I said, a wrapper around a normal conversation, delivering value. There is no doubt. It is touching many avenues. Nikhil, who's sitting at the back, he rightly mentioned 7 days worth of work now in 2 days, and gentlemen on the front table also talked about GRC tool built. But does that not mean that number of applications that we are building are way many more than what we used to pen test earlier? Statistics, which is in the public domain, common vulnerability and exposure database, if you look, CVEs, number of CVEs discovered back in 2020 were somewhere around 25 to 30,000. In modern days, if you look at, it is 60,000 plus. Many of the CVEs not even getting numbers, and a lot of CVEs discovered do not have remediation plan. So if you look at it, the amount of volume is increasing massively. CVs and the amount of work that we are doing is much more. AI is definitely touching many of those landscapes, but that does not mean our work is getting lesser. It is just going to go higher and higher on the digital landscape. I think that's my immediate thought, but I'll let others also answer your questions.
Thank you. Anybody wants to take this question?
I think that was a very debatable question, probably when we are sitting in front of the vendors also. So what I feel, 20% is transformational, okay? And 80% still is marketing claims, right? So if you see so many partners coming with powered by AI, so I feel until unless you don't do a benefit realization, See, because there's always stages, right? In a complete life cycle, there's stages. Until you don't do a benefit realization, not only AI, anywhere. So you don't see the true benefits, right? And then you also need to understand what you require. What is, see, I am from a manufacturing domain, okay? Someone else is from pharma, BFSI. So everyone has their own pain points. What is required and how AI is going to help you. So try to get into only those things where AI can help you. Please understand that in detail. Don't get into marketing gimmicks and all that. No, this has AI, use this. Unless you don't do these kind of exercises, these kinds of benefit realization, I don't think so. No, we will have something coming very solid in front of us.
Yeah, that's very well put, Bhupender ji.
You know, on a lighter note, earlier when we were talking, we discussed that now everybody puts AI, and not to put any tech vendor on the spotlight. We were discussing this. Even the real estate developers, when they give front page news or advertisement, they are putting AI in this. And what is there in the AI, right? Nothing to do with AI in building this whole thing. Maybe architecture, building, you might have used AI, but largely it is the same bricks and walls, right? So I think we need to be prudent in taking those decisions, not to get carried away with the all big claims. Where one area which is helping those vendors, thanks to you, at least you are making our boards and our executive more aware that we need to invest in AI, and hence getting a better budget next year. That's it.
That's very well put. I think all of us agree that it is, first we need to understand what exactly we want, because the next question comes with that itself. Can AI be trusted to take autonomous decision? So we had SIM, we had SOAR. I don't know if any organization has implemented SOAR completely. Will we allow AI to make a call, let's say at 2 a.m., and this is a question for everybody. Do we allow AI to autonomously take a call that with 98% confidence or 80% confidence that a certain production environment, which is business critical, seems like showing behavior like ransomware, so I shut it down. Any privilege account that is showing unusual activity, I revoke access. Because AI, from cybersecurity point of view, maybe AI is correct. But from a business risk perspective, how much autonomy do we give AI? And that is a question I will put Animesh. What do you think? Would you allow that?
No, I think we cannot just have a fully autonomous security operations center at all, because there are so many reasons. One is we cannot trust AI to take all the decisions, especially on the remediating activities, because it can shut down critical systems which might not even be affected, and AI might be just hallucinating, and it just derived a threat which is not even there. So I think for taking decisions like that, human intervention is really required. If AI is suggesting something, it has to be reviewed first by human and then take that kind of decision. Yeah, but perfect. Some basic decision it may take, for example, if an endpoint is infected and it is automatically getting isolated, that kind of decision. So maybe we should define some playbooks.
Absolutely. And that is where for the rest of the panelists, I'll just change the question a little bit. At what confidence level and under what parameters will you allow? Because let's say we are working 9 to 5 and the decision that AI is taking is at 2 a.m. No human is going to say you take it or you don't take it. So at what confidence level, under what parameters, and to which systems will we allow it to change firewall rules? Do we allow it to shut down the server? So what is the confidence level and threshold where we think that AI can take autonomous decision? Anybody wants to take that question?
I think this is a related question. Probably I will still say, if you ask me the previous question, my answer will be completely no. So I don't want to give myself completely into the hands of AI at this point of time, present day. Okay, but maybe down the line the things can change. See, since I am from a manufacturing background, okay, so I can't let AI rule it, okay. Probably if you do small things, blocking an IP, phishing email, blocking that email, that is okay. It doesn't impact the business, okay. The one which impacts the business, so understanding shop floor line stopping, it's a big loss. It's a big loss. So I will never try to do those kind of playbooks where it will automatically stop my SAP, okay, stop my manufacturing execution system, right? So still, I think it has a long way to go where we have 99.9% of accuracy. Till that time, see what you have seen in the past, what has happened with Mythos. So they created autonomous agents, and now these autonomous agents they are behaving wrong. Okay, they are doing some things like that which are not expected, and even they say they raise their hands, right? So for us, where we are at a point, I say novice or immature stage, we should not do these kind of things at this point of time. Probably things can change. It will down the line the things will evolve. Then we can take a decision, because every day things change. Every day you see new thing coming up, which is kind of a big thing for us.
I think just to add to what Arvind mentioned here, if we reframe the question, if you allow me, Akash, on this one, I think trust may not be the right measurement criteria on this one. The two criteria that we must use is what is the blast radius and what does AI impact. If we keep these two things in the decision making process and then decide, hey, look what autonomy we want to provide to AI agent, makes a lot of sense. Because if we look conventionally also, how many are manually quarantining our incoming emails that are in lakhs a day? That there is a level of autonomy we've given to email security solutions. Same for EDRs or antiviruses, whatever we are using. So there is some level of autonomy always given to many of these solutions. Like I said, AI is just a wrapper around a lot of automation and presentation layer. So if AI impact is large, blast radius is large, like Arvind mentioned, manufacturing, I would not want, let's say, my conveyor belt decision to be given to an AI agent and that stops it, and then hundreds of products that get delivered per second stop working. No, I'm not going to do that. But then there are other areas. For example, a user, a risky behavior, somebody logs in from outside the country, never anticipated that to happen. Disable the password, trigger an offline messages, through that, maybe a text message and so on. We can do that. So I think we need to be prudent, and if the impact is high, let's not give it to AI for now. And if the impact, if there's a life, human life that depends in the manufacturing aviation industry, no ways. Don't even think about it. These are 2 cents that I would like to contribute.
And I'll just add one point to it. As he said, blast radius, one is confidence threshold that we discussed. Maybe the third thing would be reversibility. Can I reverse it? So
very well put together. We always need to have a kill switch.
Yeah.
I think how do we decide the impact is not big enough? Is that whatever AI can do, have a playbook that can, with a flip of a button, now banking industry is going ahead with this approach, right? Build kill switch in your AI workflows.
Yeah.
So I think very, very important point.
Yeah. So I think all of us agree that today we cannot have completely autonomous AI systems, at least in the business environment, in manufacturing, as Bhupender ji rightly said, in critical infrastructure and in plants where everything is very critical. If a plant stops for 1 hour, it's a big loss to the organization. So the last question is a little provocative, and I would expect provocative answers. So what's one AI use case that's overhyped and one that's underrated? So first let me start putting a little bit of context around it. So autonomous SOC operations, I hear it everywhere. I think it is one of the most overhyped things ever. Because till now we have not been able to implement SOAR. We don't, playbooks, autonomous playbook, I will say never. So autonomous SOC, I think is overhyped. Another thing which I would say is underrated, AI orchestration layer behind my security tools that I have, because an endpoint will know what is happening within endpoint. A WAF will know what is happening within the public, what kind of traffic is coming from there. And different tools will have their own standalone analytics. Maybe AI can help there, orchestrate, and if I ask, in the last 24 hours, tell me, what are the identities that have logged in or have shown behavior which is against their usual behaviors. So that is where I think it is underrated. Overrated, I have already mentioned. I'll ask each one of you on overhyped and underrated. But for Animesh ji, I have one question. Let's say the board has told you you have 1 crore. Where would you invest in AI?
See, as you mentioned, right, that fully autonomous security operation is overhyped. That I do agree, and I may not invest there at first. So that is true. But of course, there are other AI tools which I would really like to invest. For example, a fully AI-powered DLP, maybe. Because if you see the traditional DLP where we are doing the manually classification of data, labeling and all, based on your labeling classification, it is stopping to data being leaked outside. If you see the AI-powered DLP systems where they are automatically classifying all of my data objects with proper classification, like it is healthcare data, my PI data, or confidential data, source code. Previously what was happening that someone just taking a snap of source code and sending it outside and your DLP won't stop it. Now you are doing something like that, it will immediately catch it up. So I would like to put my money into proper DLP like product. EDR, like if I talk about EDR, previously when there was just signature based attacks, I mean it was responding to signature based malwares and all. But now you can stop zero-day attacks with the help of EDR. So these two tools I would definitely like to put my money.
Anybody else wants to take a go at this question? Yeah. First Bhupender ji, then you. Okay, first you go, please.
See, if you're talking about AI in cybersecurity or you're talking AI whole?
AI as a whole. In cybersecurity, sorry. Our topic is cybersecurity.
So I will first see, cybersecurity will be second. First, where it will help the businesses to grow, okay? So I have organizational KPIs, vision. So how it will fuel that vision, that's important where we should put AI, okay? And from the cybersecurity point of view also, since vehicle cybersecurity is something very prominent in auto industry, right? And that is something which can give us the business. So I will try to put, definitely for us, cybersecurity are 3 things. One is your enterprise, OT, and the vehicle cybersecurity. So I need to see, people over a period of time have invested in enterprise IT, right? But I will try to put more on OT and vehicle, because that is something which is basically giving me business, which is giving me money. So that would be my focus. So I will try to do a segregation of funds, and I will also keep some from the governance point of view. So the guardrails governance, it's very important. That layer we need to put at everywhere. Without that, nothing will become successful.
Very well put. Bhupender ji?
Language task and reporting. These are 2 simple use cases because they don't really have direct impact as such, right? So these are areas where AI definitely has served well and has gained a lot of confidence around the different industries. Code writing has definitely, because see, where you save massive time time is also a currency that we all have, right? We put our efforts and then get paid after a month, right? So there is time bound currency also. So anything that can shorten with higher accuracy is something that we should use. Reviewing logs, for example, and reporting, code writing, code reviews, anything that does not touch the consumer and the product and the people is where AI should be used and is being used. I think there are areas where AI is being oversold. Is that for the mundane tasks that have no business value, like Arvind and other, my colleagues talked about, we should stop using, or at least limit the use of AI, because then the work creation does not take a lot of time, review takes longer time, which means the person who's reviewing the work generated by AI sort of becomes a rubber stamp, and there is no dopamine release or sense of motivation in reviewing 20 pages of document which AI produced. So I think this is an area where we should limit the use of AI.
So I think the time is up. I'll take just 30 seconds to summarize what we have discussed so far. So what we have discussed is AI should be outcome driven and not feature driven. If the time to detection is not becoming faster, then there is no need for AI in threat detection. The other thing, the second point that I gathered from all the discussion that we had was AI is a security risk and an opportunity as well. Though all the security leaders have to think AI to secure the enterprise and secure use of AI within enterprise. And thirdly, AI, how autonomously we want to give it decision-making powers. So I think the discussion revolved around these three themes for all the questions that we discussed. If anybody can have 10 seconds and add to that, I would be more than happy.
I think that's awesome. AI to secure the enterprise and secure AI for the enterprise, that's awesome. I mean, I was talking to someone and the guy said there are only two things possible. Either you have some kind of attack in your organization or you just don't know it, okay? There is nothing like a third option. And we talk about AI. So AI is sophistication, okay? We talk about AI in a lot of things. We talk about cybersecurity, that's what the topic was. So it's an evolving ecosystem. And all of us talked about like how this can help us. Automation, that's a fundamental. So I very much appreciate all the thought process, and I really like the words of wisdom coming from different people. So thank you.
So thank you everyone. I hope you had a good understanding, and thank you everyone for your time and your insights. Thank you.